actually you need to know where do your best user come from and your best conversions, your best traffic sources, and where do they engage better, on which channel, which content, which touch point. So we began to think what could solve this issue, this market need, and we began to design JOTURL.
Welcome to the My Future Business Show, where we get you in front of your best audience and keep you there. Not only are we interviewing the biggest names in business to help you become even more successful, we're inviting you to book your spot on the show to help you grow your business. So at the end of the call, make sure you fill in the interview application form at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. Hi and welcome back to the My Future Business Show. My name's Rick Nusky. I love what I do because I say it every time, I get to talk with some incredible people, and today's no different. I'm on the line with founder and CEO of JOTURL, Janosch Lenzi. How are you, Janosch?
Right, fine. Thank you very much for inviting us.
I've been practicing your name, and it's very hard sometimes to get them right, so my apologies.
It's hard in Italy too. There are a lot of people, they call me in very strange ways in Italy. So because I'm half German, half Italian. My family has very far Hungarian origins.
Yes.
So it's a Hungarian name. It's used also in Germany, but less than in Hungary, of course.
Well, I'm a Nusky, so I'm German by origin. So there you go. Small world just got a bit smaller, didn't it?
Yeah.
So
my mother is from Frankfurt. Yeah.
I hear that you're in Italy, and the weather's quite inclement at the moment.
Yeah. It's heavy raining here, and hope it will stop by the weekend.
Now, Janosch, the My Future Business audience is about the entrepreneurial journey. It's about people like yourself coming on and saying, look, this is how I did it. This is what I had to go through. It's also about business owners who love technology. I'm one of those. And this is where I guess the genesis for the My Future Business show started. I'm hopeful that we can jump right into JOTURL because soon as I saw it, I fell in love with it. I found it through a recent promotion that you guys were doing, and I couldn't help but jump in. And it's an amazing product. Now, for those who don't know, this is basically an all-in-one marketing suite for your branding, links, and tracking activities. There's a great deal of depth in this, and I'm certainly not the professional to share the details, which Janosch has kindly come on the show to do with us tonight. So Janosch, I'd just love to learn a little bit more about yourself, what you like to do when you're not working, if there is such a thing.
Actually, if there is such a thing, yeah. Well, I try to distribute the remaining time in family, and when I have even less time to music, I like to play some guitar and piano. I'm happy that my younger son is starting with the piano, and he started 1 year ago. So let's see if it will go on, if he will go on. And and then this is done usually in the weekends. I mean, Saturday afternoon and Sunday, because Saturday morning I'm at work. And I created also some, and I'm also still working on some projects within the music area. It's a hobby, it's passion. So we created MediaJ. It was a music app, pretty popular on Windows. We made about 2 million downloads, and it was nice. It was nice adventure. We learned a lot. It all started with a couple of grants we won with Microsoft. We went to Helsinki a couple of times, and there we learned to create apps and to launch it on the market, and it was really exciting. We got in contact with a lot of really skilled, expert people, and coming from Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Rovio at the time. It was really nice. Then Microsoft closed the store, and the Windows store, the mobile world, the mobile area was stopped within Microsoft, and we had a lot of users asking us to replicate the project on Android and on iOS. And actually, we took a couple of months deciding what we should do in the future, but at the time, we were very focused with JOTURL. An investor, seed investor, just jumped inside the project. So we decided to go on with JOTURL, which was the main project. It has customers, enterprise customers. We had a really exciting roadmap. So I'm pretty happy about the choice.
Yep.
And actually, I'm very happy about the choice. And yeah, at the same time, I'm going on working twice a month in the music area. I'm working as an advisor with Musico, which is a really exciting AI project, a very advanced AI project on autonomous and generative music.
That's fantastic.
That's all. I hope it answered your question.
Oh, look, absolutely. Anything that we can share, just to give a bit of, I guess the essence of what Janosch is about. One of the things you talked about a little earlier was how your children are starting to get into piano. And the first thing I thought, Janosch, was about providing tools. A piano is a tool to help you get a result. And I thought to myself, well, how is a Jot URL a tool for business owners? I'm wondering if you can explore that with me.
That's a great question. Very great question. This is maybe our main question. we quest ourselves. We make this question to ourselves every day, and this is the most often question we faced in the past, and we're still facing today. Because it's nice to create something new and to get a market, but you must keep on. Having a keen eye on the market and the needs of the market, coming from the market, because needs, they change over time. And so it's very important that it's nice to create a tool, but it's even nicer to have someone using the tool.
Oh, yes.
Because this is really exciting, right? That's really exciting. If you do something that is useful, it's used within companies, and it provides some kind of advantages. That's, the main part of the business. It's the nice part of the business, the job, because there's a hard part and there's a nice part. So
the end user part.
This is, yeah, right. So actually, this is related with how JOTURL was conceived and how all of that started. And because we were a software company, we developed software, customized software. So based on tailored on our customers' needs. And one of our customers, namely Zanichelli, it's a renowned, famous Italian publisher, a physical publisher. They print books, a lot of books, and they sell a lot of books. And they, on average, a book lifetime goes over 10 years because, books get reprinted several times. So, and books have a lot of links inside, and you must keep those links alive because you cannot change those links once they're printed within books and you have millions of readers.
Yes.
So they were using Bitly years ago, talking about 2012, 2013. And we already made some other kind of custom software for them. So one day they came to us and asked us, hey, we are using Bitly within our books, but we can't go on using Bitly. The two main reasons are related with security and with links getting old. Outdated.
Yeah.
And they redirect you to a 404 page. And so that's an issue for us.
Yes.
So they needed an automatic monitor, link monitor. So we started to create it, and we created a beta for them, and they started to use the monitor. And what the monitor did is it checked the domains, it checked the links, and not only the availability of the links, it also checked the security of the links. So if any kind of domain or page or web page was compromised, from a safety based on safety reasons,
yes,
they get notified by the platform. So they got notified by that original tool. It was not JOTURL. It was just a customized tool for them. And of course, they needed to have a shortener, a branded shortener. So at the beginning, JOTURL was just a branded shortener with a monitor and a very advanced monitor tool. Because we also monitored if there were issues related with phishing, scamming, and malware distribution, everything else for each link. And then we also monitored the destination content. Because, it happened that sometimes a publisher uses third-party content within their books. Think about school books. There are online laboratories where kids can and students can test their skills or learn, and something, just the URL or the content of a page changes over time, from 1 year to another, or from 1 month to another. And so we created, within the monitor, we created a destination content analyzer, and it analyzes the text, the HTML code, and videos too, and it warns you, it notifies you if anything changes within the content of the destination page. And this holds still today. So this was JOTURL at the beginning, and 1 year after that, 1.5 years after that, in 2013, we began to think that, this was related with pretty much important things. The internet was changing, and the website were not the only, the unique traffic sources, or destinations, sorry. So the main part of the traffic for a user was not only on their website anymore, but there were a lot of other channels: social medias, newsletters, press releases, short text messages, and offline campaigns, and then social media were growing very fast. And this traffic was growing from month to month. So the problem, what we figure out is, hey, the customer journey is getting really complex, and it will be much more complex in the future. So you will have really several touch points on different channels, and actually you need to know where do your best user come from, and your best conversions, your best traffic sources, and where do they engage better, on which channel, which content, which touch point. So we began to think, what could solve this issue? This market need, and we began to design JOTURL. We told ourselves, well, the only thing that never changes from one channel to the other is the link. We can connect everything with a link. Because the link is, it's on the top of your customer journey. It's on step one everywhere.
It's a fundamental to the online journey, isn't it?
Yeah, right. So if you control the link, if you have tools on the link, you can add to the link, you basically are able to get the most information out of your users' customer journeys. So we first focused on the links, and it was easy. For desktop links, it was less easy for mobile links, because deep linking, actually, when you drive a user from an external link to an internal web page, that's already deep linking, but it's different from mobile deep linking. So if you drive somebody from an external link within a specific section, area, or page of a mobile app, that's totally different, challenge. So you need a dedicated technology. So you have to adapt your links based on a channel where you share them. But you have to keep things simple for your users. You cannot ask your user to study 200 pages of deep linking technologies before creating a mobile deep link. So we started to design everything which was important for links, which was needed to for the engine to drive links and to create links everywhere. And then we started to add options. So we start answering to the question you made earlier, right now. And so asking ourselves, what does the market, what does the user need? So we discovered that they need remarketing, because doing remarketing on links means you can create custom audiences based on people who already interacted with a specific content. And later on, you can create audiences based on those people who interacted with a specific content, so that you can expose them to ads which are meant for their needs, for their interests, thus lowering the ad expense and making your conversion rate higher. So this was very important for our users. And another thing which was pretty important were call to actions, because we started our business journey with enterprise customers. So we acted a little bit the opposite compared to normal tools, to other tools on the market. We started with enterprise customers, and we ended up now with online, small and medium customers, and we are very happy about that. So at the beginning, we were focused on security, we were focused on reliability, ability to scale. But the platform.
Yes.
And other thing, a service level agreement and other things required by big enterprises like Vodafone, Amplifon, TransferWise, or Telecom, and so on. But so we went on asking what is useful, and they told us, well, I don't want to ask each time my webmaster to modify a page just because I want a call to action on that page. So it would be nice if I could create my call to action by myself without having any interaction with my webmaster, or at least having just one interaction once, and that's all. And from there on, my marketing team is independent of our web developers. And this holds especially for big enterprises, because big corporates, they have a lot of suppliers, and they really have hundreds of suppliers. So even in the digital marketing, they have dozens of suppliers. So every time they decide to do something, they have to interact with
so much bureaucracy.
So it's
crazy,
and it takes a lot of time. So they were happy to be able to build microsites, call to actions within the platform, and then launch a campaign, a short text message campaign, or a newsletter campaign, or whatever else. So this was another need, and of course, from month to month, we collected other needs, and other needs were related to conversion tracking. They began to ask us, well, nowadays the offsite traffic, meaning all the traffic not coming from your website, not landing on your website, is a huge amount of our traffic. So we need to attribute conversions. We need to know where our installs come from. If we are dealing with a mobile app, we need to know where this specific sale comes from, or this submission comes from, or this lead, and we need to know, and we need to know how we earn from that touch point, because compared to how much we invested on that touch point. And that's basically attribution and return of investment analysis.
And that's the thing, having that visibility on your marketing spend is so critical, isn't it? Especially for small to medium-sized businesses.
Yeah, right. That's definitely true, because I was very happy about a video made by Neil Patel. It's a renowned marketer.
Oh, yes.
1 month ago, he asked a lot of marketing offices within corporates, what makes the difference in marketing really? and somebody answered the newsletters, social media campaigns, whatever else. And within the video, he said, no, it's optimization.
Yep.
You will never get that much money from acting on other marketing channels, marketing actions, if you compare this with optimization. If you optimize, you can get a lot of the money back.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed by that, because even if, I mean, our tool is 50% based on optimization. So
yes. Yep.
it's mainly based on optimization. It's nice when you see renowned marketers saying something like that, because it's very important to us too, because it answers to the question you made earlier at the beginning of the podcast. And we make every time to ourselves every day, but you know, when you make your question, you give yourself an answer to your question. It's not like somebody else.
It's a biased response, isn't it? Because you want to see the right question, but you know, at the end of the day, you're verified and validated through an extremely good professional.
Right. That's the point. Because until you provide the answer by yourself, that's nice, but it doesn't guarantee you have attacked your tool, your creation enough.
Yeah.
And actually, you have to attack your tool, your creation every day of your life if you want to guarantee survival of your tool of your company on the market.
Yeah.
So you need validation coming from outside.
And you certainly have that, haven't you? Yeah. I mean, it's just a massively successful product platform.
Well, it's getting success now, so we are happy about that. It's a good moment. We are growing, and we're getting a lot of attention globally. So means it's the right way, it's the right path. We have to go on that path. Of course, we receive positive validation every day, but we also receive negative validation. And I'm actually very happy about those. Those are critics. And critics are very important, because even if maybe you don't like it, when you're a young entrepreneur, you don't like them. But nowadays, I don't like them in the first second. Then I try to understand immediately if it's a constructive, positive. I mean, it's positive critic, or if it's something which just where I'm just losing time.
Yeah, throw away.
If it's just a positive critic, then that's gold. That's really gold, because you know that you have an urgency and you have to work on that.
They've done your research and development, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We do a lot of research and development, and I think it's really important. At the beginning, we had some advisors telling us, you know, you're investing too much time on research and development. Who knows? Maybe at the time it was true, but I'm happy we have done it, because I think you can lower the ratio of money and time you invest into research and development once you have 10 million revenues, maybe. But until the time, you have to struggle on your product. You have to enhance it. You have to improve it every day, because there are competitors outside there and they don't sleep.
No.
And even if competitors sleep, the market does not.
Yeah.
So a big market change over 2 years can kill the product. And at the same time, if you leave small blue oceans free to be occupied, there will be somebody occupying them.
Yeah, and so, this is that nature. As a former quality manager, I can see that focus from JOTURL and the likes of yourself and your team on continuous improvement. It's absolutely vital, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Which I think is one of the takeaways for everybody's on the call today. Just as an aside, Janosch, I'd love to know where JOTURL, the name, came from. Why did you choose
Yeah.
that name? It's always been a little
Yeah.
bit obscure for me.
You know that better than me. Then to jot something means just to write down something very quickly, right? A quick note or something else. So once we were looking for a name, there were we wanted a name with a meaning. I mean, related with what we were doing, and it was very hard to find something which was free because you needed a free domain,
Yes.
an available domain, and so on. And one day, one of our co-founders came back and saying, "Hey, JOTURL is free, but I don't know if it's fine." So we start asking to American and English friends we had, and they told us, "Well, that's nice. I mean, it's writing down quickly a URL, which is actually what you do. You're dealing with links, so it sounds fine." So it was a terrible name for Italy because it was very hard to pronounce in Italy, and so nobody was able to remember us in Italy because it was very hard, and nobody was actually understanding the name, but it was very easy for Americans and English people. So somewhere in the future we wanted to go into the international market, so we should care about the international market and not Italy, and that's the story.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing these great, wonderful insights. I get such a buzz out of speaking with people like yourself, because you are the reason I believe that the My Future Business audience are so energized, is because there are real people out there doing real work, and they're actually following their dreams. And I think this is one of the most important things to realize, is that not always will things be easy. They will be tough. There will be barriers. There will be those haters, I guess you'd say. There'll be technical issues. There'll be market changes, everything that we've spoken about today, Janosch. Now, one of the things that I know that's important, if you can go on. Yep, go on.
Yeah, this is very important. This is, you just hit it. You just hit a very important point when you're working as an entrepreneur. When you work as a freelance or as a consultant, I think things are easier. It's harder to create a product and being on the market. I can say this because I did both. I started as a consultant, ending up as an entrepreneur, and being an entrepreneur really puts yourself in front of yourself. So it really puts yourself in front of your mirror, and so it's really easy to discover where you're not strong.
Yeah.
Right. So and even if you ignore those part of your character of your person, they will come back in the worst moment.
Always.
So it can be and there it gets really tough, because you're facing your limits, and you have to admit you have these limits, and maybe you need somebody else helping you there. And I think there are two key points which are at least they were very important for me, and they're still very important, because as an entrepreneur, you're ambitious. You have also somewhat an ego. I mean, an ego which is driving you, which is fine, but sometimes the same ego, it drives you. You have to manage your ego, because the ego is nice when you need energy, but once you have solved some issues, because if your ego drives you on a path where you know you're wrong, then that's a disaster
waiting to happen.
I think the two key points are, you have to recognize your limits, and you have to understand where you really need help.
Yeah.
Sometimes an entrepreneur just needs a business coach. Some of them are just scam. They're scamming you.
Yes.
And some of them are really professional. They know what they do. So maybe they don't have created other businesses, companies. So some entrepreneurs say, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I answer always, you don't need to be a good doctor. You don't need to be ill to get ill to be a very good doctor, right?
Yep.
So if this is your, it's a professional. If you act in a professional way and you are professional in that field, you can provide a lot of help. So first thing is look at your limits and don't be shy and don't fear to share those limits with other people. Be open and say, hey, I'm very weak on that. I need help on that. Because actually when you admit that you're weak on something,
yep,
you're already strong on that.
Yeah, because you've taken responsibility for it, haven't you?
Right. That's the point. You're taking responsibility on it. And the second point, which is very helpful, I think, is resilience. I'm not saying this. Jeff Bezos, it's one of maybe the most successful entrepreneur in the world. He has recorded a wonderful video about the concept of resilience. And I think this is the most important thing. There are moments where you still don't have the solution. You're just walking towards a direction, but you don't know where.
Yep.
And what I say is keep on walking. It's not important where. Keep on walking. Stay
moving.
Stay up.
Yeah.
Stay moving.
Yeah.
Right? Because 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, and then maybe you will see the direction or somebody will tell you where to go.
Yeah.
And those are, those moments are really tough. And I think that every entrepreneur has faced them, and you start thinking, maybe I should give up. That's not worth.
Not the way to go.
I have no way, and that's not paying anything. It's not paying cash. I don't go anywhere, and you start questioning on your choices.
Yeah.
And those are the hardest moments. So, and I think that resilience saves you.
Yeah, that's some great advice there. This is the reason that I do the My Future Business show, Janosch, because I love the story, the journey, and what we're doing here is balancing the needs as human beings. Because at the end of the day, if you're losing your health and you're pushing yourself too hard, if you have self-doubts, these are all human tendencies that we all have to manage through, and sometimes put them to the side, but other times acknowledge them and slow down. Now, coming back to the technology side, JOTURL is obviously becoming a powerhouse for all the things we've already talked about. You've obviously got your link branding, your deep recognition. You've got all these different features. Now, I love the interface. I found it very easy to use, and I can only say it from a very short-term user perspective, but it only took me less than half an hour to get my head around it. Admittedly, I'd been using tracking tools of various descriptions for many, many years, but I finally found something that essentially has everything all in one location. So when somebody wants to start using JOTURL, what's the onboarding sequence like for them?
This is a very good question. You're making questions that took us a lot of time
yes, I
about
bet.
them. Because I'm very happy about your words. Thank you very much. This is very important for us.
Yes.
It's really important for us. We're still not happy about the UX because we feel we have still space to improve it. The onboarding is really important. What we found out is that the reaction of users towards JOTURL, towards the JOTURL user experience, is somewhat polarized. It's like when you ask people, do you like the light mode or the black mode on your desktop?
Yep.
There's not a unique answer. You will have 50% of your audience choosing the light mode and 50% choosing the dark mode. And basically, this is the reason why Apple, they made, they were geniuses. They made a choice that, okay, we will give you the choice. Once you install the OS, you can choose, and you can change whenever you want within the operating system.
Mm-hmm.
So this was actually an answer to the market, the right answer for the market.
Yep.
Because sometimes there is not a unique answer. And if it is not, you have to adapt your product and say, okay, I will provide the market what seems an unsolvable problem. And we experienced something similar within JOTURL, because there is 50%, maybe a little bit more than 50%, maybe 60% of the audience, mm-hmm. which is very happy with the approach. They say, well, I create the link. I'm ready to create the links with the plugin, the Chrome plugin, and or the bookmarklets or whatever else, or within the dashboard. Mm-hmm. And then I decide which options I can add to my link. And that's nice for me. Then there is the other part of the audience saying, well, you know, it's a little bit difficult for me starting from the link and ending up.
Yes.
The options.
Yes.
I would prefer starting from my needs. I want to do retargeting. So don't talk about links. Don't talk about anything. I just want to retarget my audience when I manage my offsite traffic. Okay, so without telling you the whole story, we will say you can do that, but you have to do step 1, step 2, and step 3. And of course, part of the path is creating a link.
Of course.
Right? So now we are working on a new dashboard and new analytics that will provide users with both options, with both paths.
Ah, fantastic.
So you will be able to choose which direction to take at the beginning.
Oh, so it's complete ownership of the process, yeah.
Right, and you can even decide later on if you want to change this. Maybe because we thought maybe people, I mean, once they get more expert and skilled on the product and on the subject too, mm-hmm. maybe they decide that the original direction was better.
Yeah.
So we have to provide them the choice to revert the process, right? So we are now designing this new dashboard, and hopefully we will be able to end all the wireframes by the end of January, and then we will start developing it. And we actually already developed the basis, the infrastructure mm-hmm. of the new dashboard, and our idea is to release it by May, by the end of April, beginning of May. So let's see if we will be able to do that. But I'm really excited about that because I feel it's something that will make the user happy and will make the product easier to understand.
Yes.
And will make our onboarding easier.
Yes.
Because our marketing team, they told us, well, we should optimize the onboarding. That's fine. I mean, we have a tool which helps us to create the onboarding within the dashboard. Of course, we can improve that, but if the approach is not what you're expecting, it doesn't make sense to improve the onboarding on something which lacks the basis.
Yes.
Lacks the basis. So it's better to provide the user with the right basis, to provide the user ownership of the process.
Yep.
And then okay, that's fine to improve the onboarding too.
Yes. I mean, that's just the thing. I can see here that we could go deep and we could go wide. You're clearly listening to your market, your audience, your customers, and it's a credit to you. Now, when everybody wants to come and start working with you, where are they actually going to go to find you?
It's joturl.com, right?
Fantastic,
yeah.
Excellent. Well, look, as is the case with every My Future Business episode, I will be making the links back to joturl.com and Janosch and his wonderful team. Janosch, it's been an absolute treat, a pleasure to spend this amount of time with you on the My Future Business show today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the call, Then make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, share us with your friends, and book your spot on the show at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. And if you're looking for solutions that will help grow your business, then visit myfuturebusiness.com/shop.